Grew up living like the rock and roll lifestyle. I was 5 and there was full on on the TV. Extremely verbally abusive. Put my head through walls. Was living on the streets. I was a runaway. First time I had sex, I got pregnant. Told doctor, I was like, no, stop. I want to have the baby. Stop. I don't want to have it. And he still did the doctor ended up messing up something inside of me.
When I was in my abusive relationship, you get to a point where you're like, motherfucker, if you touch me one more time, I'm going to kill you.
There's a day that doesn't go by that I don't wake up and feel like I have something wrapped around my throat.
Jelly Roll's wife, Bunny, has a bunch of haters. They try to call her a gold digger, but in reality, she's been with Jelly Roll since the beginning, and she's been in survival mode her whole life. From terrible parents and a horrible childhood to struggling in her teens and falling into substance abuse, Bunny has gone through a lot, so let's get into it. The last couple years, I've become a big fan of Jelly Roll as he's been able to rise in music. He's gone through a lot, but today I want to focus on his wife, Bunny's story. She goes by Bunny XO on social media, and like her husband, she's also gone through a lot of trauma. This article reads that Jelly Roll overcame a tragic past to become a chart-topping country musician. And along the way, he met a remarkable woman who has also faced a lot of adversity. His wife's name is Bunny, and she's got a TikTok page which has tons of followers and a podcast where she shares a little bit about who she is. Jelly Roll posted on social media that this woman has truly changed my life in every way possible. When Jelly Roll's whirlwind romance with Bunny began, the Need a Favor singer needed a lot more than a little favor to turn his life around. Quote, when I met her, I was homeless, living out of a conversion van. He said, this is why it's so unfair when people are dismissive of the role his wife has played in his success. Possibly because of her attractive appearance and her past as a worker, Bunny's haters love to label her with the gold digger stigma, saying that she is out to get his money when she'd been there way before that.
Okay, well, so we met at church. No, I'm just kidding.
That was a good one.
So he was performing with the Moonshine Bandits, and I went with a friend, this guy I was dating, and he was there, and there was like 30 people in the crowd, maybe like 40. I don't know.
20.
Yeah, it was like
You might
nobody.
be fluffing me up here.
You know, when I met him, I was just like, I was like instantly just like, who the are you? Like, I have to get to know you. And then he was, doing his own thing. He was, had just in different area codes, and I was in a relationship. And so,
What year was this?
2015.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I saw him again, and then he came back in October, and I was just smitten with him. And then my ex ended up going to prison because I love to date felons. So
Well, I kind of am her type.
yeah.
On the Bussin' with Boys podcast, Jelly Roll revealed that Bunny also helped him gain custody of his daughter, Bailey Ann, when he couldn't afford an attorney or a place for him and his little girl to call home. He said Bunny became determined to help Bailey Ann when she saw that Jelly Roll's daughter was living in squalor with a mother who was an addict. The sad situation reminded Bunny of her own traumatic upbringing.
He like started texting me and like calling me and like asking for advice for Bailey and stuff like that, because I think he had already planned on getting custody of Bailey at that time.
Yep.
And he was just like, hey, I need to buy a little girl's bed. I would like be in bed with like my Cabana boys, and I would like get out of bed to just FaceTime him and stuff like that.
She's laid up with some dude and is walking away like, hold on, let me go outside and talk.
So we just started a friendship like that. And then he just hit me up one day and was like, hey, I'm going to come to Vegas to shoot some videos. And I was like, all right, this was like July of 2016.
Now let's talk a little bit about Bunny's upbringing and why she had so much motivation to go and save this little girl. I mean, of course, she loves Jelly Roll, so she wants their family to be together, but it also triggered something within her. Bunny was born in Houston, which I'll actually be there this weekend for Pride, where her mother, Vanessa, stripped for a living and her dad, Bill, was a musician. Her mom did not stick around to raise her. She ran off when she was 3 months old. Both of Bunny's parents did drugs. When her mom left, Bunny's father was in hospital because he contracted hepatitis C from a dirty needle. Ooh. Sounds tough. Bunny's mom deposited her at the front door of a stranger. It took my dad 2 weeks to find me. When they found me, I was locked in a closet, Bunny recalled. Oh my God. Bunny's dad remarried when she was 5 years old. She revealed that her new stepmom, Michelle, was just 17 years old. It was a baby raising a baby, she said. However, she said Michelle's inexperience isn't what made her a terrible stepmother. She was also extremely verbally abusive, put her head through walls, Bunny says. Michelle also physically fought her. Bunny's horrific treatment at home made her lash out and fight at school, which got her expelled on more than one occasion. Again, a lot of the bullies and people who are like going through it, especially in middle school, high school, elementary school, it's because they're going through something else at home. I guess during one occasion when Bunny was fighting, she had gotten beaten up, and her father was unhappy to learn this. So he actually, quote, took me out in the backyard for 2 weeks and whooped my ass, taught me how to fight. So her own dad was physical with her. That's got to mess with your mind.
Grew up living like the rock and roll lifestyle. My dad, you know, I would fall asleep with my dad's band playing across the room from me. There was sex, drugs, rock and roll. There was on TV all the time. Like, it was crazy. Like, if I could just paint a picture for you like that.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
and how old are you when this is
I was
happening?
5 and just rocking and rolling. I remember I came in one time from like playing outside. I think I shoved a rock up my nose or something. And there was full on on the TV. Like, just
okay.
some chick getting banged out, you know? And of course, when you're that young, you don't
understand.
Right. And then as you get older, you're like, oh, you little dirty dogs.
Yeah.
You know, but it's fine. You know, my lifestyle, that lifestyle molded me into the woman that I am. And I think I was more attracted to the darker side, the seedier side of life than I was like the square side of life.
Yeah.
So when my parents made this whole change whenever I turned 12, it was really hard for me.
Now, because Bunny was growing up in dysfunction, she wanted to get out as soon as she could. Her family moved to Las Vegas when she was 5. Her stepmother gave birth around that time, and her stepsister was spoiled rotten, and Bunny got the Cinderella treatment. Quote, I was the one who was picking up dog crap and mowing lawns and weed eating at 8 and 9 years old. Bunny's dad would never take accountability for his role in her dysfunctional home life, nor on working on improving the situation, which that's so toxic. Instead, he told her he was taking her to Disneyland one day, but their actual destination was a psychiatric hospital where he had Bunny committed. What? She recalled how she reacted to this betrayal, saying, I looked at him across the table and I was like, I'll never let you make me feel like a disappointment again. Jeez, that needs to be like a movie. Bunny was 14 at the time. Her parents made some serious changes to how the family lived by becoming strict. She couldn't listen to secular music. She couldn't watch PG movies. They became all Christian after all this bad that they've done. She soon decided she had enough of her family and opted to leave home. She lived with a friend and worked as a lifeguard and a waitress to support herself. She said, I grew up around a lot of people I didn't want to be like, which I can relate to that too in a non-negative sense, but like, I don't know. You know, I saw things too when I was younger, especially going and working so young. Like, I was really working as a swim coach like when I was like 12, and then my first like paying job at 15. And you see some things, you learn a lot, but also it's good. I think it's good because being exposed to those people, you learn that I don't want to have those behaviors or be on drugs or things like that.
The way I look at it is, you know, my stepmom taught me how to be a woman. She taught me to do my makeup. She taught me to do my hair. She taught me how to cook and how to keep a house and stuff like that. But on the flip side, she was also extremely verbally abusive, put my head through walls, and I literally had to fist fight a 5'10" cowgirl all the time from Texas.
You had to be an adult when you were a little kid.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like that has contributed to how you are today?
I think it has made me not have a victim mentality because I don't like wallowing, I guess you could say. And so for that, I'm thankful because I could have gone the other way. You know, like we also have talked about previously is, you know, a lot of people, when things happen to them as children, you can either internalize it or you can externalize it. And I think I kind of used it as like my power to like get the out.
But once she became an adult and legally an adult, I mean, she's still like 15 years old, 16 years old. Once she was emancipated or at least away from her parents, real life started to kick in. She lost her virginity at age 16 and she ended up getting pregnant. She was living at home with that friend who told Bunny that she couldn't continue staying there if she had a baby. The boy who got Bunny pregnant also did not want to be a father, so they opted on going through the procedure to remove the fetus.
Situation.
I've never told this story anywhere before. I lost my virginity at 16 to a long-term boyfriend named James. First time I had sex, I got pregnant.
Shut up.
And I remember I grabbed my stomach and I was like, I just got pregnant. He's like, you're fucking weird. A couple months later, we take a pregnancy test. I'm pregnant. James is like, well, you can't have a baby. I can't have a baby right now. We're too young. If you could pay for the and I'll get it. I remember getting on the table, gave me a picture of my ultrasound.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would they do that?
They're administering the drugs in me and I'm starting to get like so out of it. But I remember I told doctor, I was like, no, stop. I want to have the baby. Stop. I don't want to have it. And he still fucking did the. And not only that, I felt them ripping the baby out of me.
No, I have literal chills.
Yeah.
My hair standing straight up.
That hurts. Like, please stop. You guys didn't give me enough medication. Like, please stop. And it was a fucking nightmare. And I just remember I was bawling my eyes out and they put me in the recovery room. I was still fucking crying.
Honestly, kudos to her for being open about that, because it is such it's an uncomfortable and sad experience for some people. It's also something they shouldn't feel ashamed of, and something a lot of people can relate to. And I think that it's powerful to speak about it and to normalize it. Bunny's first pregnancy resulted in her being rushed to the hospital after she began experiencing abdominal pain at school. The second time, she revealed that the much older guy she was dating, Steve, left her alone for 3 days after she underwent surgery to remove the baby. During that time, she didn't eat, saying, "I think that was the first time I ever felt sadness."
I was a baby. I didn't know what was happening, and I was pressured by the guy that I got pregnant by. I was living on the streets. I was a runaway.
What the hell was you supposed to do?
The doctor ended up messing up something inside of me. I had 2 ectopic pregnancies after that. I paid for my choice. Anything that I've ever done in my life that I've ever felt that I shouldn't do and I still did it, karma always comes back around. I always get taught my lesson.
Now, of course, Bunny ended up with some troubled guys, some problematic men who did not treat her like Jelly Roll does. For example, this guy named Tony. She said that was her first real love. When she got her first pregnancy removed, Bunny's father and stepmother came to the hospital, but she refused to leave with them after the procedure and ran away with Tony instead. Tyler Henry, the Hollywood medium, collaborated with Bunny, and they were discussing Tony because Tony's no longer around. She and Tony were no longer dating by this time, but she cared enough about him to visit him when he was in a coma. She was joined at the hospital by the guy she was dating, Frank, whose name had popped into Henry's head when he first started giving Bunny a reading. Quote, "I knew Tony was already dead. My ex had smoked fake weed and it sent him into cardiac arrest." That is scary. What is up with the drug world? I'm so over it. Bunny recalled experiencing an eerie moment at Tony's bedside that made her certain he was gone. "I was holding his hand. I could see him standing, looking at me in the corner of the room." She said he actually always loved me. Henry also had a message from beyond for Bunny saying that Tony, I think that guy, Tony, wants you to know how proud of you he is. Oh, that is a sweet moment. Do you guys believe in mediums and psychics? Leave a comment below. I want to hear what you guys think. But here's a clip from that interview.
You have some people who are not family who pop through.
What up, homies? It's probably some of the homies that have passed over.
I think so. I see some symbology around like marriage, union, joy, happy for you. The way I would word this, if there's anybody who you feel has passed, who loved you a hell of a lot and maybe could have seen a romantic future, but it wasn't the right time or the right place, just remember them.
Probably my ex Tony.
I think that guy wants you to know how proud of you he is, and that he, when he comes across, acknowledges an awareness and existence in your relationship, and that you deserved more than he was able to give at that time. And that aspect seems to pop in.
Now, before Bunny was with Jelly Roll, she was in a relationship back in 2015, and she dated this guy for almost 5 years. She said their relationship started off supportive before it went dark and terrifying. Quote, "He strangled me so bad one night that he burst all the blood vessels in both my eyes. He broke my orbital bone and he cracked my larynx."
Also, on the flip side, when you're in an abusive relationship, and I've said this numerous times on the podcast, you get to a point where you're like, motherfucker, if you touch me one more time, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
When I was in my abusive relationship, I literally told him I bought a gun, and that if he ever touched me again, I was going to blow his head off. And I meant it.
That is so scary to think about. I can't believe she survived it. And looking at how sweet she is, it's just like so hard to imagine someone doing that to her. Bunny said that her ex damaged her throat so badly that she lost her singing voice. He also tried to keep her from going to the hospital after he beat her, but she managed to see a doctor when he caused an aforementioned injuries. Quote, "The doctor said to me that he's only seen injuries like that in someone's eyes that have been strangled to death." On another occasion, Bunny's ex beat her in the backseat of a cab. He had a grown incest after Bunny dared to protest his plan to celebrate Christmas Eve at a Vegas strip joint. She said, "It was so bad that I saw my guardian angel." She thinks the cab driver didn't intervene because her ex was so frightening. It took her abuser to go to prison for her to get away from him, but then it opened up her availability to meet Jelly Roll.
There's a day that doesn't go by that I don't wake up and feel like I have something wrapped around my throat.
What do you say to the young woman going through it?
You need to get away from it, first and foremost. There is life after death, because that situation is nothing but death. You're going to end up dead, especially if it's as bad as some of these women are in. And you need to give yourself time to heal. Healing takes a long fucking time from shit like that.
Now let's go to this then. What do you tell the woman who just got through it? She's alone, or she's with a new guy and can't figure it out because she's still dealing with this. What do you tell her?
You gotta and you got to take time out and figure it out, because if not, it's going to come back to haunt you and find different ways. I've tried to run from it a million times, and there was times Jay would have to take me to the hospital in the beginning of our relationship, and there was one time I looked at Jay in the hospital bed and I was like, I'm going fucking crazy. Like, something's wrong with me and I don't know what it is.
Now, Bunny's been really open about her parents struggling with addiction, and she's also had her own issues. In a 2022 appearance on Sex and Violence with Rebel Girl, a podcast, Bunny revealed that she used to drink heavily and take several different kinds of drugs, including cocaine, Xanax, and Lortabs. She said, if you look on the back of pictures from me 6 years ago, I look older than I do now because I was partying my ass off. Bunny claims that she was able to kick her cocaine habit before she met Jelly Roll, but decided to get completely clean when they started dating. Xanax seems to be the one drug that kind of stuck around, and she wasn't herself when she was on it, saying that she effed up friendships, she stole stuff, she just wasn't a great person. She even overdosed twice on the drug, which Xanax is a downer, so it could make you, I assume, easily overdose. She revealed that she reconnected with her mother on the internet at the age of 22. The woman who walked out on Bunny when she was a baby ended up being the person who helped her the most when she was trying to get sober. She said, I called my mom every night at like 2 or 3 in the morning and I just bawled my eyes out. I even told her I don't want to end up like you. She was there for me, dude, like nobody else. Oh, that makes me emotional thinking about that.
I have severe anxiety, OCD, like all that stuff. So it's like drinking just made that worse. The next day it would take me like a week of depression to like recover, you know, and I was just like, I don't want to live like this, and I have a little girl watching me, you know, like I just can't do this anymore. I'm not gonna be like my dad.
Before Bunny had been with Jelly Roll, she also was involved in work. It started when her ex Steve broke her heart. He cheated on her with a stripper, and she was like, well, if she could do it, I could do it. She said her first experience stripping at 18 did not go so well. She claims that night when she started stripping, there was one bizarre request from a man to kick his wiener, his nether region. It made her really upset. She cried her eyes out and she ran out of there. She tried to strip again at the age of 21, but then realized that escorting pays a little bit more, much more. Bunny has shared some of her scariest experiences working as an escort. I've gotten punched in my face before, held in hotel rooms and stuff like that. She was also horrified to learn that one of her clients was in possession of child material. She said, I just immediately felt my insides crumble, which, let's block this word out because we don't even like to even think about this type of things existing, but it does, and it's sick.
She was, you know, really making money in the sex work industry, like real money. Like I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
Like, because where I'm
yeah,
from,
yeah,
it's like where I'm from, a prostitute is like $2 holla. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
I'll suck your for $50. This was, I mean, dude, 15, 20, I mean, real money.
Really?
It was in like, if she ever writes a book, which she wouldn't because she's too gangster, but she will write a book, but not about this. But if she ever like released her diary, we're talking about like CEOs of like oil companies.
Oh, I
like,
bet.
people you know. You know what I mean? They're like
Yeah.
super, but you know, and I'm just like, I don't understand this. But I didn't have a problem with it. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
it's way, you know, if it's that high end, I'm cool with whatever. She helped me she helped finance Addiction Kills. She helped hire a lawyer to get custody of my daughter. She got me a place. I didn't have a place. I was homeless.
Even though it seems like Jelly Roll and Bunny have the best relationship, like couple goals, they have also had their downs. They had a rough spot in 2018. Fans who closely followed Bunny's YouTube channel back then learned that the couple had split up. Bunny cried as she spoke about the sad development, saying that she can't eat, she can't make it through the day without wanting to cry. Bunny was more angry than sorrow in a follow-up video. She revealed that she had recently confirmed her suspicions that Jelly Roll had cheated on her. While one of the aspects of Bunny and Jelly Roll's marriage is that some people might find strange, is that Jelly Roll can sleep with other women. Bunny said on her podcast, the one rule was don't lie to me and don't do stuff behind my back. So they're in an open relationship. Interesting.
And we found out more information on El bag today. Apparently he's been having a relationship behind my back, which I already knew. I already knew there was somebody else. I just couldn't confirm it. I wish them luck. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being petty because I have every right to be. That's my husband for you. He's a real winner, that guy. Anyways, enough about them. Let's focus on the good.
Later, skaters.
Because Bunny is an understanding woman, their breakup did not last long. Bunny said that she and Jelly Roll had a heart-to-heart conversation. When he did come clean, she learned that Jelly Roll had a year-long affair with one of his exes. That's terrible. Bunny called learning that he had been unfaithful the worst feeling in the world. The couple put in the work into mending their relationship and attending therapy, so then they were able to eventually work it out. Thankfully, Bunny's mom was there for her to help her get sober, but unfortunately, both her parents passed away. In 2020, Bunny shared a video on TikTok of her warm reunion with her mother, Vanessa. Sadly, her mother died from an unspecified illness 2 years later. The day after her death, Jelly Roll wrote on Instagram, "My wife moved Vanessa to Tennessee to try to get her medical help she needed." Bunny later gave Vanessa some grace in her own post, writing she revealed that she had come to understand that Vanessa's struggle with addiction was the reason she abandoned Bunny as a baby. After admitting that she had spent years being angry with her mom, Bunny added, "Rest easy, mama. Forgiving you was the best thing I ever did." And that's so good for Bunny to like heal as a human. Makes you want to like tear up, right? I'm just too much, right?
Miss Vanessa.
Oh, that's my horror mother. He gets mad at me when I talk.
Yeah, be nice.
I am being nice. I love her. I talk to her every 3 months.
But she was a dancer.
Yep, my mom was a stripper. Like mother, like daughter.
So your mom kind of hung out till about 1 year.
Didn't she leave me on somebody's doorstep while you were in the hospital when she ran off with your organ player?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There's no nice way to put it.
That went over well in the courtroom because I got full custody of you. They always give the wife the child. And they were just about to do it. And I jumped up and I said, "No, there's no way that you can do this." I told them that story. Then it was all over after that.
Aww, I love you, Dad. I'm so happy that you did that for me, and I can't thank you enough. Because you didn't have to. Dads don't raise daughters like that on their own. They really don't. And that's like the coolest story that I could ever tell people is that I was raised by a single dad.
Although her father did outlive her mother, granted they weren't together anymore, he did pass away. The year after she lost her mother, Bunny went to TikTok to reveal that she was moving her father to Tennessee. He had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Bunny was appalled by his doctor, suggesting that she let him die after he got deathly ill with pneumonia. She said, "Whatever my pop wants, we're gonna do. Just give it the old good fight." Unfortunately, he died in May 2024. She wrote on Instagram, "Hey Bill, I'm gonna miss you. You are still my favorite rock star and my hero." That one's gonna hurt. Why, when parents die, that's so scary. It makes me want to cry. I'm like literally getting emotional. I can't imagine. Everyone can relate to that too, you know. And especially they didn't really have like great times together. So I'm glad that she was even able to have a little bit at the end, you know. Get it together, son. Nowadays, Bunny is doing all right, but she's still open with her mental health issues. So I guess when Bunny was 18, she took ecstasy and had a panic attack, which kind of started this anxiety for her. This has caused issues in her relationship with Jelly Roll because she can't go to concerts, and it's just a general struggle. She says what keeps her going is just being busy, being productive, and getting stuff done, which makes sense because she's everywhere. I would love to interview her someday.
My depression is getting so much better. I think what had happened was I was on a calorie deficit for like about 13 weeks. My choice. I chose to do that. And I wasn't taking my B vitamins, and I think what happened was I completely depleted my entire body of vitamin B, because as soon as I took a vitamin B supplement yesterday, it was like, hallelujah. So I don't know if that helps anybody, but you know, of course the SAMe works, just be careful with it. But also maybe throw some vitamin B in there and see if it makes you feel better. You guys know if something makes me feel better, I immediately want to share it with you guys. So
Bunny has gone through so much, and her story is inspiring. There's so many layers to it. I feel like there are still so many more stories that she could talk about, but I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Do you want me to do a video about their relationship timeline? One about Jelly Roll? What video ideas do you have for me? Here is my email, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.